Okay, this is part 2. We're actually going to get through the build of these tables, but you know, it's worth it taking some time and going through this because then you get more familiar with how to build tables and how to actually put everything together. And we don't actually even need to do this to write the queries, but we're going to do it anyway. So last where we left off, I was working with the prerequisite table and the course table. We're probably going to need to search on some courses, so we could populate it. Let's see. I'm just going to go back here for a second. We retrieved the names of courses taught by King, so we need to put Professor King in there for 1985 and 1986. Professor King looks like a very popular instructor here as well, so let's go ahead and put some courses into our table. So I'm going to go into the course table, and I'm going to go into the insert menu, and I'm going to say course name. What's the course name going to be? Database class, and the course number. I'm going to put everything in the 400 range. So 400 credit hours, the 4 credits, department, COSC. I think, is it COCS or COSC? It's COSC. Okay, good. Oh, let's see. I'm going to put a couple more in here. I'm going to do it the cheat sheet way. I'm going to go in here and say programming in C. Let's go here and put C++. That's going to be course number 410. That looks pretty good. I'm just putting some data in here. So now I have 2 courses, a database class and a C++ class. That's probably going to be enough. Put some prerequisites in here. So I'm going to go into the insert menu. And the prerequisite is going to be 400 with a prerequisite number, I don't know, 100. Let's do I'm going to put 2 of them in here. 410. I'm going to have 101. Actually, I was going to make things in the 400. So let's go 420 is going to be a prerequisite, and then 450. Here's prerequisite. So now I got a couple prerequisites in here as well. So just because when I run the queries, I want some data to show up. Okay. Now we could actually, let's see, section. What section got in here? Course number. We could link up the section table with the course number, which we probably should do. So in my section table, I'm going to do course number. What I'm doing is I'm just filling in the pieces of what we've done so far to link up the rest of the tables. So for course number, I'm going to click to make that one a primary key for the section table. And then over in the section table, I'm in the section table right now. We've got section identifier. I could make that one unique. Well, let's make that one unique. Make it okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. So section identifier is going to be like the number for each one of the sections. Semester, year, instructor. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to go over into my, I'm going to go back to my database object and make sure I've got that linked up. So one more time, I'm going to go back to the designer. See what I got going on here. I have section, and I have course. So in the section, I'm going to make something that's going to sort of look like an entity relationship diagram eventually here. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to select create relation. And the relation is going to be between the course number here and the course number here. And let's see, I'm going to do a cascade on the deletes. And let's do a cascade on the update as well. Do that. Press OK. Let's do something different. Oops. Hello. There we go. So now I have grade reports, student, prerequisite with a course. So I've got a section with a course. And actually I'm just going to take a visual look here and see if there's anything else I need to link up. Let's see. Course name, prerequisite number, students. Students have student number, student name, class, senior. No, I think I've done most of the referential integrity I could possibly do on this. Yeah? They don't have to. This is actually a good demonstration of that. Not all the tables need a relationship with each other. In fact, we don't need a relationship at all between the grade report and the student. Maybe the student, no, courses have a relationship with prerequisites and section numbers, but we don't need a student really in course. Are kind of two separate entities. Students take courses, and if we had a registration table, which we don't have, we could put a registration table in here. And then they would be taking courses with and section numbers. So this is kind of more of a primitive kind of example with not so many. But you can actually see here, and I didn't actually show you this, but if I zoom in a little bit here, you could probably see there's a crow's feet over here where it is a one-to-many or many-to-many. You can't really see it because of the way the graphic looks on here. Section. Oh, I made the section identifier. I made it unique. Yeah. So technically, I could link it up if I wanted to. But yeah, no, that's why there's two keys there. Like what I did over here with unique, actually for name. Yeah. Section identifier is different. It's going to be for each one of the sections, like section 1, section 2, section 3. And the course number is going to be like in grade report, section number. Excellent, excellent. That's a good one. We could make the section number here for grade reports, and then link that up with section number here. Let's go back to grade report. Actually, I'm going to make grade report unique, section number unique. So in the section number, I'm going to make this one unique. Oops, duplicate entry. Entry 1 for section number. Duplicate entry 1. Oh, that's because I put the same section number in there. Let me go back and delete that data. Or look at the structure of that data. Let's browse it for a second. Section number, I have section number 1 duplicated. So that's why I was saying before, you don't want to put data into the tables until you have the constraints set. So let me change that then. I'm going to update the one. Well, let me update the student 100, change the section number to something. So I'm going to do an update here. I'm going to go into the SQL window, and I'm going to click on update. It says update grade report. Set section number equal to 5. Oops, that's student number. Let's know. I'm going to set the section number equal to 5. Where, let me just remove this for a second. Where student number equals 100. So I'm going to update grade report, and I'm going to set the section number to 5. And I'm going to see why I have this error right here, actually. Let's see. And I can't read this because it's too small. Hold on, let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay. This might help, actually. There we go. Update grade report. Set section number equal to 5, where student number equals 100. Let's see if that syntax is going to be good or not. Probably not. No, we got some messages here. You have an error. Section number equals 5. The syntax near where section number is equal to 100. Okay, hold on one second. I don't need a quote on section number. No. You're right. You're right. Update grade report. Set section ID. Okay, I don't want this one. I want this one. Hold on one second. Section number equal to 5. Grade equal to. Let's trade the grade to. Grade equal to A. section number is a number, isn't it? Yeah, where student number equals 100. What do you mean? It doesn't technically need quotes. I'm going to leave it alone, though. It doesn't technically need the quotes, you're right. But I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't know. Every time I type, I make mistakes. Trying to eliminate how much typing I write. All right, so let's browse the data for a second. We changed them to an A. We have 100, 102. We got section number 1. Okay, so now we have some pretty good sections. So now I can go back to the, what table was I in? Section table? Section number, student identifier. No, I was in grade report, wasn't I? Yes, and I'm going to make this one unique. Section number, student number. That one is now going to work. So if I go back then to my object, I'm going back into designer. We have grade report that has a section number in it, and we have a section that has a section number in it. So I'm going to link those guys up. Course, a section number, section identifier, is that the same as section number? So cascade it. Let's just cascade it, both of them. Error, foreign key relation could not be added. Cannot add or update a child row foreign key. Fails, assignment 3. Constraint, foreign key, section number, reference section, section identifier on delete, on update cascade. I'm changing the behaviors, which is what the issue is. Let's try one more item here then, because course number, course identifier, should be course identifier, course number, references section, course identifier on delete. Could not be added, cannot add or update a child row. A foreign update constraint fails. A foreign update constraint fails. Because, did I not pick section number? Let's do it this way. I think I went the wrong direction, actually. Section number, section identifier, restrict. Let's just restrict them both. I went the wrong direction is what happened. Yeah, I picked the foreign instead of the primary. I went the wrong direction. Now it's all linked up. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Now it's all linked up correctly, actually. Let me put it here so you can actually see. It's interesting how it color codes everything, too. We have different colors. I don't know why it's doing that, really, but... so we have course. We have a section with a section number that's in the grade report section number. So this one has section number with section number with section identifier, student number with student number, student course number with course number. I think we're about as linked up as we could possibly be with this. So now when we put the data in, we have to follow all of the rules. We should hopefully get some drop-down boxes that we can select some courses for grade reports now. So once we have it all linked up, let's go ahead and let me finish now. I don't think I have any more linking to do. Let me go ahead and populate, make sure I've got some courses in here. So I should have some courses. Importing, what do I want to import? I don't want to import. I'm going to just click on insert. Did I put any courses in here? Let's see. Yep, I have database class, C++ class. I don't have course. I didn't put anything in the course. I guess I could give course a course number. We didn't have a course number in course? No, we have course number. Course number? Hold on one second. Grade report. Section number. Section number and student number. No course. Let's say section. Section's got course number. Probably could have put a course number in the course table. That would be the same course number, wouldn't it? Let's see. Course name, course number. Course number. Well, we could add one more. We could add another constraint between course name and course number. Otherwise, in the course table here, we have it going one direction but not the other direction. But it doesn't really matter. So in the insert on a course, if we put a constraint in here for the course number, well, we wouldn't be able, this would be the primary key. We don't actually have this as a primary key, but if we did that, then we would actually be able to enforce it. Oh, we did. We put it in as a primary key. Okay, good. So we got it. We're good. So let's see. Let's just make sure I have some data in here so we can go ahead and write some queries. We have some courses. We have some grade reports. Good. We've got some prerequisites set. We've got some sections. We don't have any sections. So let's insert a couple of sections here. Section 1 of course 400 semester. Doesn't really matter. What is that, the term? Semester. Summer. Year 19, we need to do 1985. Instructor King. There we go. Why is summer? Because this is a number. Why did we do semester? Let's go 1. Semester. Let's change semester. We don't have any data in here yet. Let's go this way. Semester, I don't like semester. Let's change semester to variable character. Alright. So now we can go, section 1 of course 400 is offered in the summer term. And it is in 1985. And it is Professor King. There we go. And let's put another one in for King as well. Section 2 of the 410 course is in the summer. And it is also let's look at 1986. Because I think we want to do 1985 and 1986. And also by King. There we go. So we've got some data in here. These two classes, and we have some students, obviously, lots of students, so we're looking pretty good so far. Now we can start writing some queries, and we did the first one last time, so you guys should probably have your notes on that one. But let's go back into the SQL window, and the first question that we were asked to do last time, and we've actually done this one already, it says retrieve the names of all senior students majoring in COSC, computer science. And I believe we were trying to make this more complicated than it needed to. The query that we wrote, I think, actually had 2 tables in it, when we could probably just write 1 for this one. We use 1 table. So in terms of our review for SQL, which is what we're doing today, retrieve the name of all senior students majoring in COSC. So we're looking at the student table. And we want the name with the major. Maybe we didn't make this more complicated than before. So if we do the select from where, I'm going to do this now. Select from where. So we're only going to select, and we did this one last time, so this is kind of getting us back where we were before. So select name. And if we actually do this over here, we double click, we get it. I forgot to show you this actually. So if I do the select from where, and I'm on my select line, I can actually double click and insert things in where my cursor's at. So from would be from the student table. So from student. And then my where is going to be where the major, because in the student table I have major, so I can actually do like major. I double click on major. Equals COSC, and class is equal to 5, or whatever the class was. And class is equal to, oh, what did I make senior? Did I make it junior? Did I make it senior? Senior. So I'm going to copy this to make sure I save it before I start running it. And notice that I have made an error. So let's see. Student table. Class is senior, junior. So let's go back to the select. See what my error is. I just want to make sure I had the right syntax for that. Oh, I have a double quote and a single quote. Mismatch quotes. And that was the problem. So now I have the query is also the correct query, and I'm going to zoom in on here. So if you're actually going to, oops, if I hit the plus, it might make it bigger. There we go. So this is the query that we ran, and the query was select name from student where major is equal to COS and class is equal to senior. If you have numbers for your class, would be class is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or depending upon what year the senior was. So this is the answer to number 1. So if you're doing that, we would do this actually. And some of you actually turned this in with number 1 in here probably. Maybe not. If you want to resubmit this at the end of the day, you can do that as well with all the answers, because we're going to go through the next one. So we're going to actually complete this right now, or at least the first half at least. So the next one, and I don't know if we got this far either. I know we did the first one. So second one, retrieve the names of all courses taught by Professor King in 1985 and 1986. So we want all the names of all the courses. So let's go back to the query here. And I believe this is where we stopped. So to run this query, hitting on the SQL button here, if I start out with my template, with my select from where, I'm going to fill in the blanks here. And I actually sort of like to go from the from clause. So, and I probably, actually, can I borrow your printout? You offered it to me, and I probably should have taken it. Because I keep having to flip back and forth between the, oh, here, I just need the first page. So we're retrieving the names of the courses taught by Professor King. So the names of the courses. So we have the courses, and then we have the instructors. So if I go from courses, I see in courses I don't have any instructor name. Oh, okay, let's just do it this way. The course has a course name, course number, credit hours, and the section has the instructor in it. So I'm going to need to use both tables. So if I'm using both tables, I'm going to need to list both of them on the from clause. So let's see. Unfortunately, if I switch back and forth between those tables, I'm going to have issues having to retype this. So I'm going to go from the from clause first. I'm going to say course, because that's where our courses are, and then section, because that's where our section information is from for the professor. And really what I really want to get, and I'm going to use a dot notation here to kind of simplify things for you. It's really the course name, because I want to retrieve the names of all courses. So course dot, and then when I press the dot, and you can see I see the columns that are showing up here. The one I want is the top one, the course name. So these are the columns, so I don't actually have to flip back and forth, and I'm going to stop flipping back and forth because I have to keep retyping my query every time I do that. So instead I'm going to select course name, so course.course name. And I'm going to do that from course, comma, section. And where the section, so on the where clause, I'm going to say where section dot, so retrieve the course number, retrieve all the names of the courses taught by Professor King in 1985 and 1986. So where the session number instructor equals King, which is what I think I put him in as King, and I put the and on a next line to make it clear. You can put this all on one line if you wanted to, but I'm kind of writing it line by line. Unfortunately, here, let me make this a little bit bigger. Maybe I can make it bigger. There we go. And well, that actually works out better. Except for let's just a little bit this way. There we go. Actually, this is good. We'll just keep it like this. And there we go. Let's see. Section year equals 1985 and 1986. So let's do here. Equals, I'm sorry, 1985? Oh, good. So 19, all right, it can't be in the both year. 1985, and I'm going to put an and in here again. Section dot year. We could use or. I'm going to show you two different ways of doing it. And let's run it this way, and then I'm going to run it with an or in a few minutes. Yeah, you're right. It can't be and. It has to be or, you're right. Or. Because you can't have 1985 and 1986. Yeah. How about or? Let's put an or in there. You're right, actually. This is good. Now I know people are paying attention. So, no, actually, you're right. The logic, you could say, it might actually work. Let's try. Let's see what happens when I do put and in here, actually. We're going to change it in a few minutes, so I'm just going to make sure I don't have to retype this. I like this big, actually. It looks pretty big. So it ran it, and I didn't get anything. Yeah. You're right. So I'm going to edit it now. I'm going to put in here or. It can't be in both 2 years. It can only be in 1 year. So now when I run it, I should get database C++, database C++. Let's see what happened. Or like this. Let's see what happens. We're probably going to get an error message is what I'm thinking. Oh, you say I have a different problem? I don't think that's really going to matter, but let's see. It works. Same results. So both of them work. It would depend on your query engine. This is mySQL. If we were doing this in Oracle, we might get various different results. However, the logic is the same. So if you haven't noticed what I'm doing now as we're typing the queries is I'm pressing on edit. If I want to change the query without having to cut and paste it and put it back in, you just click on edit and it will bring the query back up for you. So that is the answer to number 2. So I'm going to save it, archive it right here for me. And you can turn in these queries identically to what we're doing right here. Because you're here, you know what we're doing, you're getting the answers, you can turn them in. So. All right, number C. Number C says, for each section taught by Professor King, retrieve the course number, semester year, and number of students who took the section. It's a lot of stuff here. So let's see. Let's just do this here. I got my basic query set up here. For each section taught by Professor King, retrieve the course number. Okay, a bunch of stuff here. That's going to be the retrieving. Who took the section? So The from is going to be from section. And what do we need? We need the students who took it. We're going to need the grade report too. So from section, and I have to use lowercase with this, grade reports. Because grade report, I'm not going to click on it right now, but grade report, remember, has the students with their grades, the student numbers, has student numbers and grades. So let's see. This is number C. This is number C. So what do we want? We want the course number and the year. So it says number, semester, year, and number of students. So on the select line, on the select, I'm going to go from section dot course number, comma, let's see, section dot year, comma, what else we need? Number of students. Oh, how about we just count from the grade reports? We could sum or we could count. So I'm going to count, and I'm going to count grade report student numbers. So grade report dot student number. Are we good? Well, we're going to do a where. So when the where is going to sort out where we get the differences. So let's see, we're going to count the grade report from section grade report where the section semester. Oh, okay. Then Mike is supposed to get that too. Oh, semester. You're right. Is it in section? Semester. There we go. We could. Because it's not, you're right, you don't need to use the dot. I'm putting the dot in to tell you that because it's coming from two separate tables. If it were in two separate tables, we'd have to put the dot in there. But because it's not in two separate tables, we can leave the dot out. We can actually do this. We can say course number, semester, year. This works too. If those two were both in the same table, if they were both in both tables, because we're using section table and grade report table, if they were both duplicated, they showed up twice, we would have to put the dots in, otherwise it would be ambiguous. Actually, by default, it would use the first table listed, which is section, if it couldn't find it, because it's going to go through the whole list and find the first match and use that as the information that's going to be shown on the screen. Okay, so what are we doing here? Where the number of students who took the section, by Professor King, so where the section, or where instructor, I can just say where section.instructor, if I wanted to do that, equals King, and the identifier is equal, oh, we can do this here. We can actually say this. This would actually work. Let's try this one right now. Actually, make sure I have the syntax correct. But I'm not getting anything here. Oh, I got one result. Actually, one result came back. It's so big, it's hard for me to see this. Let's go down this way. I got course number 400, summer 1985. Let's edit this though. I'm going to add another line in here on the bottom. This is for each of the sections taught by Professor King, retrieve the course number, semester grade, and number of students who took the course. I can join the two tables together here by saying and the and, what I'm going to do here is a section identifier equals grade report section number. So if I do that, then I'm going to go section dot identifier, section identifier. Do I need to do that? Or group by, yeah. I can make an equals. So here's one way of doing it. We can say that and section number identifier is equal to, but because we're doing an aggregate, you're right, we can do a group by. In fact, we may have done this last time actually. I don't know if we got this far last time. If we do a group by, then we're going to get the results that we want. We can do, what are we going to do a group by? Course number? Semester? Course number? Course number? You're going to group it by all of it? I would group it by maybe semester. Let's see what happens when we do this. It's still the same semester, summer. So we can do a join. What we're going to do here, and let me demonstrate something to you. Actually, it's called a natural join. Ah, section. You can do that. Course number, semester, but we didn't put the section here. Oh, for section ID? You didn't use grade report? You could do that. Section. Section ID. Section identifier. Group by section? Identifier? Yeah, that would work. That would work. Oops, we got an error here. Probably a misspelling. It doesn't exist. Assignment 3 does function. Oh, what did I do here? Count, probably because I did that. There we go. I had an extra space between the function and the opening bracket. Ah, much better results. Good summer. The other thing we probably could have done, and just let me tell you what I just did a few minutes ago. I put a space in here, and I got an error because the function count didn't exist. Because it needs, you can't put a space between what you're counting. So the function as a functional unit looks like that. And it's an aggregate or a count. So I can do a sum, a count, an average. And I need to have the opening and the closing brackets of what I'm counting right next to it. I can't put a space in there. If I put a space in there, I'm going to get an issue because it doesn't recognize it as a function. The group by is needed just to. Let's see what happens when we do group by course number. If we do group by course number, we're probably going to get the same results actually. We get the same results. So what it's doing, because we have this count, we have to pick something that's also on the select line to group it by, so that the results know how to aggregate it. Otherwise, it doesn't know how to actually come up with a count. What are we counting? Or what are we summing? Or what are we averaging? So the group by is needed in order to do that, unless you're going to do a natural join and you're going to come out with 1, which is what we were doing a few minutes ago. So the group by, if we're grouping it by course number, semester, or year, we can actually put year in here if we wanted to. It's just going to do the count per whatever it is we're grouping it by. So if I group it by year, now I get 1985, 1986, and I've got 4. Wow. Because actually, I got twice as many because I didn't do a join on it. Another thing we could do is this here. I'm going to take this out for a second and join it where section identifier is equal to section number. So, and section identifier equals section number. Section number. Technically, I guess I should put section identifier is coming from from section. Section identifier. There we go. Oops. Let me get rid of this here. If I do this, now I've got and section identifier is equal to grade report section number. I get 1 that comes out, it says 2. So it says 1985. Wait a minute, let's go back here for a second. We're selecting the year, and we're counting it. We're going to get one count that comes back. Let's do a group by. Group by. What do we want to do? Course number? Now I have 2, 400 and 401. 400 and 410. And I have 1 and 1 because I grouped it by the course number. If I leave the group by out, I get 2 because I'm only going to get one count that comes out of it. If I leave out the join on the 2, I'm going to get 4 because I'm going to get twice as many. I'm not going to get the intercept of the 2. Now I got 8 actually because I didn't do a group by. If I do a group by, I'm going to get 4 and 4 because it's going to count it twice because I'm including the table. I'm including both tables. So it's going to count it out of one, count it out of the other. So I get double the results. So the join is going to bring it down into just the matching ones. And the join is through the and. So that line I put in there before that said where the section identifier is equal to the other one, section number, the and joined the 2 tables for me and gave me 2. The group by, if I put the group by back in here, I'm going to get 4 and 4. So group by course number. Now I get 4 and 4 instead of 8. So how I want the results to appear is going to be in terms of the where clause, but what's really going to control it is my group by, and then if I join the tables versus leaving the table separate. If I leave the table separate, I get twice as many showing up in the results. If I join the table, yeah. Let's try it. So if we do that, we get the same results, but yeah, it's not going to change us. If we had it out, we could group by as many as we wanted to. We don't really have that much to group, so you can group it by one grouping, another grouping, another grouping, and you're going to get the number of the count is what's going to be affected. So if I had different course numbers, and here if I had different semesters, which I don't, I could put some data in there to do it. If I had different years, and if I had different course numbers, it would be showing me a count per the year per semester per course number. Yeah. So pick one of those that you like, save it, copy it, stick it into this file here so you can hold on to it for later. So I'm not going to paste it in here anymore. I'm just going to go to the next one. Number D, because we want to get through this before lunch. So retrieve the name and transcript. Here, I have it written here, actually. Retrieve the name and transcript of each senior student. Class is equal to 5. Well, we did text instead of numbers. Majoring in COSC. A transcript includes the course name, course number, credit hours, semester, year, and grade for each course completed by the students. All right, so we're going to take a step in the right direction here. Let's see. This is number D. Retrieve. Yes, this is number D. This is going to be a long one, actually. So let's see. Oops. Let me get rid of. Let me make this a little bit easier. Select from where. So on the where clause, what we're looking for, retrieve the name and transcript. Transcript of each of the senior students majoring in COSA. Transcript includes the course name. So what we really want to do is retrieve the course name, the course number, the credit hours, the semester, the year, the grade for each one of them that got completed here. Well, then that's going to be probably student. I'm probably talking about students, so I'm going to put student in here. It's my student table. And I'm going to do students. I have my cap locks on here. Students dot name, comma, Course name from course. So we got course. Let's do course here as well. Course dot course name, comma, course number, course dot course number, course credit hours, course dot. What we're really doing is just getting a lot of data from these tables. Credit hours, section, semester, so section, let's do it this way then, section, semester, oops, section dot semester. Let's see, section semester, year, section year, is it year? Yeah, section semester, section year, year. What else we want? And grade report, grade report. We want the grades too, right? Grade report dot grade, which means I have to put grade report here too. Grade report. So let's see if I got everything here. We want the name. Well, that's an easy one. The name is coming out of students. And where am I getting this from? I'm trying to remember, like, because I've gone over this so many times, and I'm looking at my little cheat sheet, and my cheat sheet's got all the tables listed on the bottom here. It's going to tell me I printed it out. So I didn't print it. I borrowed your printout. So I have all the tables there. So I'm looking to see where the items are. As I find the items, I've been including them onto the from line. This is why I'm doing it this way, because I'm sort of writing the query in one step, picking out the field that I want to select, and then where's it coming from, and if it's not on the front line, I've got to add it to the front line. So let's just review this for a second. I got the name, and the name's coming from students, and I've got the transcript. Well, that's all this other stuff. The transcript includes the course name, so that's my course name, and the course number. The course number is coming from course, and the credit hours, semester, the year, semester, year, and the grade. Well, the grade is going to be from grade report grade. So now I know I'm going to have to use grade report here too. And where's this where going to come from? Well, this is where the number, student number, if we're going to, we have a student number that's in the student grade report and also in the student table. So where student number is going to be equal to student number. So this is where we're going to have a problem. If I do this, if I go student number is equal to student number, that's going to cause confusion. I can't do that. That's why I've been using the dots in here to kind of say, well, where is exactly is this coming from? One of them is coming from grade report, the other one's coming from students. Yeah? Yep. We can do that next. We can do it next. I'm gonna do it next. I'm gonna do this one first because I want to join the two tables together. Because I have to get the grade from from grade report, I'm gonna go student number. Oops. It doesn't really matter what order you do this in. I like to do the joins first because then I remember what table's coming from what table. Yeah, they are. If I don't do this, I'm going to get twice as many of my results. If I do this, I only get one set. So this is what it's called a natural join, where if I do a where student number is equal to grade student number from the grade table to the student table, I get one entry because I'm joining the two tables together. If I leave this out, and we can see it in a few minutes, I'll leave it out, and you'll see we're going to get twice as many entries because we're going to get it from this table, and we're going to get it from this table because of this line here. We're going to get all the stuff from student, course, section, and grade as many times as it appears in those tables. We could do distinct. Yeah, if we put distinct up here, that would solve the problem. We wouldn't have to join them. Yeah, there's a couple of different ways of writing this. Let me write this way, and then we'll change it around. We'll see what happens with this. So if we join the table and the grade report student number is equal to the student number, and then we can have the grade report section identifier equal to the grade report, no, to the section identifier. So this is overkill, but we could do it if we wanted to make sure that we had a current match. So let me just show you something else here. And here, I'll put the and on a separate line. We can always take this out in a few minutes here. So I've got where the student number is the student number. Now I want to do the section identifier with the section identifier. So I can go student, is it student? No, section. Section dot section identifier equals grade report dot section identifier. Section number. Grade report section number, section number. And then the course number is equal to course number from section to course. And course number course number is section dot course number. Now I got some ands and ands and ands and ands and ands. I'm just showing you overkill first. Then we can streamline this. So we got that put together, and now we have this other thing here. We have to be seniors, right? And class is equal to 5. Well, we don't have that, but we have an course or section. No, student. It's student. Where student dot class is equal to seniors. Senior. Hopefully we have some senior in there. Perhaps we do. And major is equal to COS. And student dot major is going to be equal to that COSC. Just make sure this works, and then we'll hack at it in a few minutes. So we have a course number. Oh, we have name is Larry, and the course name is C++. We have one entry here. Larry took C++, and it was for 4 units in semester summer in 1986. So let's take away all the ands. Yeah, but we didn't do numbers. We did classes sophomore, junior, senior. So we changed our data a little bit. So that's why I changed I didn't use the class equal to 5. These two we have to keep. Okay, those two down here, we got to keep that. Because that's what's giving us, retrieve the names and the transcripts of each student. Class is equal to 5, majoring in COSC. That we got to keep. But do we really need the other stuff here? So I'm going to reorder this for a second and show you something here. If I start out this way, let me do this actually, because I want to compare and contrast what happens with the results here. Just bring up text Wrangler. This is what we started with. Now I'm going to switch the order. I'm going to take out this stuff here. I'm going to say where student class is equal to senior, and student.major is going to be equal to COSC. And I'm going to run it again. See how I got them listed lots of different times? I have every single entry from every single one of those tables. Where you're talking about, what am I talking about? I'm talking about this list of tables here. That's why I was joining the tables. You don't join the tables, you get one entry from everything. So remember, I got one result when I joined all the tables together. If you want to minimize the amount of results you're going to get, do I have an undo? Undo cut. Let's see. No. Undo typing. No. Okay, that's not going to work. Instead, I'm probably messing this up. So let's just do one of these here, where the student number is equal to the student number from grade report. And I'm going to put it on the end here, and because I don't necessarily have to put it first. Student number is going to be equal to the student number. So I'm putting one of my ands back. I don't get as many because I just joined one of the tables. I actually joined two of the tables. If I join the rest of it all up, every time I do these lines here, and section identifier is equal to grade section identifier and course number is equal to course number, I'm getting all the pairs put together. This is where they're calling joins. If I join the table together, when I run the query, it runs on the combination of all that put together. I get one result that comes out of it. If I leave it all separate, don't join the tables together, I get as many as in this table, as in this table, as in this table, as in this table. Because what it's going to do is going to start with table number 1, give me the results. Table number 2, give me the results. Table number 3, give me the results. So you can see it. In fact, let me take this out so you can sort of see what I'm talking about. If I take this guy out here, take out that join right there and just run it this way. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tables. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to select all this in combination out of 4 tables. I get, that's a lot of results. So I get it's going to give me a certain order. I have 400, 410, 400, 410, 400, 410, 400, 410. But I'm getting all the combinations, so I've got 4 times 4. I should have, well, probably should have more than that. I don't know. I'm not going to count up how many results I got here. I could count it. It's duplicate. Yes, it's duplicate because I'm querying this table, this table, this table, and this table, and I'm getting the results coming back out of all the tables for as many tables as I have on the from line. If I do put the joins in here, let's go back to the joins. Let's try the group by. It's not going to work, but we're still going to get duplicates in here. Group by, well, we can't. We can order by. Well, if we can, let's say group by student dot name. Now we've gone down. We didn't do any joins here, but now we have student name 400, but we have it 1, 2, 3 times out of 3 tables because we don't actually have. We don't have the student information in the grade report table. So the group by helped us, and the other thing we can do on that if we wanted to was order by. Well, we want the name, the course number. And what did we get here? Oops. We got the name, the course number, the credit hours, the semester of the year, and the grade. We got everything. We got everything, but we have it, we got it. Actually, we solved it with the group by. You're right. Yeah, group by is easier. You're right. You could also join the tables. Okay, yes? Oh, so let's see what order by does. Order by. Group by is going to group it by the student name. If I change that to order by, it's going to put it so all the Bobs are first, all the Larrys are second. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really trying to show you joins, but you don't want to see joins. Okay, you don't want to see joins. These are the joins. Hold on, I'm going to show you the joins. I know. The group by does solve the problem for you. But I'm trying to show you joins. You join the table together. This is actually, okay, you make a good point for the group by. You know why? Well, the join actually is a better query because it's more efficient. But the group by goes through all of this data. What the group by is going to do is going to go through all of this data that you get. And then it's going to give you the results. On the join, it does the join first. It only gives you the join condition. So you get fewer number of results. This query here is going to take you long. If this were a huge database, this is going to run longer. This is going to take more time than if you do the joins. There was, because all of the tables. Yeah, yeah. Well, technically not, I guess. Not in this case. I wanted to show you joins, though. These are joins. All right, just take that with a grain of salt. It's okay. The group by works just fine, you're right. But if you wanted to, you can join the section identifier with the grade report section number and the course section number with a section number. If you put it together, it reduces the amounts of results that you get back because you only get one entry for the matching. The reason why our number was different is because our equality join, if there's no matching, you lose the record. So we didn't have any grades. If I look at this grade report, actually, and this is a good test actually of what that did. If I look at grade report, I only have 100, 101. Actually, I do have them all in here. One of these tables is missing though. Course, and let's see, student, senior, 100. Okay. Ooh, wait a minute. Fred, Wilma, and Curly, they weren't in here. It was just Bob, Larry, and did we get Mo? I don't think Mo took any classes, did he? Mo did come up. You saw him in the results? Okay, good. All right. Let's do this. Was that the last one? No, we have, that was number D. We have two more. Let's just do these two more and then we'll go to lunch. Let's see. The two more aren't too bad, actually. This is E. This is E. E says retrieve the name and major departments of all students. Students who have a grade of A in all of their courses. So let's see. Okay, so what do we want? From's going to have student and grade report. Actually, you guys can probably write these faster than I can at this point. Grade report. So the From's going to have student grade report, and we want the name and the major. So I retrieve the name and the major. So name, student name. Or we could just go name, major. From student, comma, grade report. This is an easy one, actually. Where the student number is equal to the student number, if we wanted to that, or we could just go to the grade, where the report dot grade, or report grade is equal to A. Where grade. What does grade report have? Grade report has grade. And this is here where grade report dot grade is equal to A. We get that right? Retrieve the names and the major departments of all students, of all A students who have a grade A in all of their classes. Let's see. Bob, Larry, Mo, Fred, Wilma, Carly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We should group it by. Alright, let's group it by then. Group by concatenation. No, we don't want that. Group by name. Bob, Curly, Fred, Larry, Mo, Wilma. They all got A's. Ooh, I don't think they all got A's. Did they all get A's? Select where grade report got grade is equal to A. I think we're going to have to do the join on this one, actually. Select name, comma, major from student, comma, grade reports. Where, all right, so if this is number E, if we put a where in here, we can join the student number with the grade report student number. Let's try something here. Let's take this group by out for a second here. I'm going to put an AND in here, and the AND's going to be the student number name dot student dot student number is going to be equal to grade report dot student number. Let's try this one out. Now we got Bob and we got Mo. This one requires the join. The other one we got away with it. Otherwise, we don't get the matches between the students and the grade reports. So let's take a look here again. Before we got all of the students in all of the tables. What we're looking for are just the students that have an entry into the other table where their grade's an A. Otherwise, if there's an A, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter which grade it's for. If the student has an, if there's a student in the student table or a student in the grade table, it gave us all matches. Yeah? Problem with this one, oh, you could do this one. How about bigger than B? Let's see if that works, actually. Oh no, we got Fred. I don't know. It's Fred. Now I have to go back and look, but I don't want to look here. I think the equality on an A is different. Yeah, because I got, who did we have before, Bob or Mo? Bob showed up a few minutes ago. Oh, how come we didn't get Mo? They both got A's? Okay. So I should really print out what's in the tables so I don't have to go back and forth between that one. So anyway, the point I'm trying to demonstrate is this AND is actually kind of sort of required. Otherwise you're going to get, you can't get the equalities between the two. What we're looking for are just the ones with an A in the grade report, not all of them. So if we don't do the AND here, so in most cases, if you put the ANDs in there where you're going to join it together with student number equals the grade number, you're going to get a little easier. It's going to be a little bit easier in terms of predictable results. Last but not least, retrieve the names and the major departments of all students who do not have the grade of an A in any of their courses. Well, let's see, that's going to be very similar. So we got the name of the student name, we got the major, we got the grade reports. Oh, did I leave out something? Grade reports. No, from student grade report, where the number is equal to number, and wait a minute, this is an easy one. They didn't get an A. It's the same query, but I used the, let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see the symbol here. Instead of the equals, the query before it said were students who have a grade of A in all their courses. The other one says where they didn't get an A. If they didn't get an A, then we do the not. So it's, the symbol looks like this. It's like the opening, and it's like the two arrows backwards or together. So if we do that, it's the same query. Do that, we come back. Oops, that's a little too small. Now we have Larry and Fred instead of Bob and Mo. Bob and Mo got an A. Larry and Fred didn't get an A. So we're good? It's the same query. It's just inequality instead of equality. I'll leave you with that. I think it's time for lunch. So I'll leave you with that. I'm going to end this part. So next time, well, after lunch, we're going to do part B. So which means we're going to create some more tables. Well, let me take a look here, actually. Part B's got, oh, here's my part B. Part B is really just a continuation, but we have an employee department, numbers of works on. We have a different set of tables. So we'll zip through that one. And we'll have one more practice exercise. And then after this, we're pretty much done with the kind of the building and the querying part. Now, practice is going to help you actually understand how to write better queries. And writing more queries is going to give you more practice. So after lunch, we'll do part B, and then we'll be done with assignment number 3. And then I really want to get into building interfaces to databases. Querying databases through PHP or through web tools, because we have a perfect environment set up with XAMPP. So let me stop this video.